My name is Sharon Storrie, host of Share Your Story, the show where people share how God works in and through their lives. Well, this coming Sunday, February 14th, is a special day. Do you know what day it is? Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Oh, I couldn't keep it in any longer. Oh, it's a day where people might buy or make Valentine's Day cards or buy flowers or candy to give to their family or friends. They want to show that they love them and are thinking of them. Well, today we're going to hear about a special person in the Bible. It doesn't have to do with Valentine's Day cards or flowers or candy, but it does have to do with love and friendship. This young man's name is Mephibosheth. And Mr. John, one of our kids' volunteers, is going to tell us that story via Zoom. Hello, Mr. John. Are you ready to share our special person's story?
Yes, I am. So, I'm going to tell you a story takes place about 3,000 years ago. Saul is in this story. He was crowned the very first king of Israel. And he had a son named Jonathan. And then eventually, Jonathan, when he got married, he had a son whose name was Mephibosheth. Long name. Now, you all remember David, who killed Goliath. He is a young man from another family, and he came to live with King Saul and his son Jonathan. And during that time, Jonathan and David became really good friends, besties. So later, King Saul was looking at how their friendship was, and he started to get a little jealous, actually. But then he came to understand that God told him that normally when you were king, your first son, and in this case Jonathan, would become the next king. But God was not pleased. And he decided to take away the kingdom from Saul, and he was going to give it to David. David was very loyal and was a really good soldier too. So, and the thing that was interesting, even though Jonathan knew this, what was going to happen, he wasn't jealous of David. That could create some jealousy in those normal circumstances. So, but Jonathan didn't get jealous, and they were like brothers. So it was awesome. So after several years, there was this big battle that King Saul and Jonathan went to, and they were fighting this army of the Philistines. Like when David fought Goliath, he was a Philistine. So, and during that battle, sad to say, but King Saul and Jonathan, so Jonathan's dad Saul, they died in that battle. And at the time of the battle, Mephibosheth was only 5 years old. So there was a gal who was taking care of him, and they went to escape and get away from that area because they were worried because they might want to try to kill him. So they went to go get away, and while they were getting away, Mephibosheth fell down and he broke both his feet. Ow. So he couldn't walk. So that was a challenge when they were escaping. Eventually, he went to live in a friend's home far away from Jerusalem. So many years later, David was king of Israel now, and he remembered his friendship with Jonathan. And he asked if he knew of any member of Saul's family that he could honor because of that friendship between him and Jonathan. And his servant told him Mephibosheth was still alive. David couldn't believe it. He said, "Go get Mephibosheth and bring him to the palace." And so when Mephibosheth got there, David said, "Don't be afraid. You can be sure that I'll be kind to you because your father Jonathan. I'll give you back all the land that belonged to your grandfather, King Saul, and I'll always provide you what you need. So Mephibosheth became like an adopted son to David. He was given servants to work the land now that he inherited back, and he was able to live at the palace and eat at the king's table, at King David's table, which was really unusual. When there was a transfer of power, back in those days, a new king usually got rid of any of the other family members that were there. And so, but David didn't. David was kind and loving, and he wanted to honor Mephibosheth because of the great friendship David had with his dad, Jonathan.
Good job pronouncing his name, Mr. John. Thank you so much for sharing Jonathan's son's story with us. Goodbye. Oh, what an amazing story. Now, David could have treated this young man like an enemy, like other kings would have done. But instead, he showed Mephibosheth. I said it. Yes. He showed this young man love and kindness. Remember, he hadn't seen him since he was 5 years old. He didn't know what kind of man he'd grown into, and maybe he wasn't the kind of man that deserved David's love. But David showed him that love, kindness, and friendship anyway. That kind of reminds me of God's love for us. We do lots of wrong things, and we certainly don't deserve God's love. Yet he chooses to love us all the same. So on this Sunday, Valentine's Day, if you buy or make cards, get flowers or candy, or however you celebrate it, remember that God's love is the greatest gift we can ever receive. And God showed us that love by sending his son, Jesus, to be our Savior. No card or flower or even candy is better than that. Well, that's it for this episode of Share Your Story. My name is Sharon Storrie. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Are we done? Hey, honey, can you get me a glass of milk, please? Metaphola...
Cut.
Methylbolipir.
Cut.
Okay, hold on. I can get it.
Let's take five. Okay.
Can I eat a candy now?
Okay. No.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Again.
Okay. No, that wasn't it. No, I better be better.
Let's do lunch. We'll come back.